You probably clicked this video because you're wondering what is a good age to start building credit. Well, let's dive into this topic a little deeper. I'm going to start out this video by saying the easiest method to even start building credit is to open a credit card. But not everybody can open a credit card with no credit because age is a factor. So another way to get your name on a credit card is to have your parents put you on their credit card as an authorized user. And what age do you got to be to do that? Well, it all depends on the credit card company. So I'll go through a few credit card companies and what their minimal age is, and it might surprise you with some of these. If you enjoy content like this about personal finance, be sure to subscribe and like this video. So if your parents have a US bank credit card, that bank requires the minimum authorized user's age to be 16. If your parents have a Chase card, their minimum age, wait for it, there is no minimum age. You can add any authorized user at any age with Chase. Remember, if you decide to go on your parents' credit card as an authorized user, anything they do with that card that negatively impacts their credit can potentially negatively impact your credit too. Okay, so let's say you went to your parents and they're like, no way, I'm not adding you as an authorized user. What is your next step? So you got to be 18 years of age and have a steady income stream to open up a credit card with all the major credit card companies. So you're wondering, hey, what's the easiest credit card to get? Well, the easiest credit card to get as your starter credit card is what's called a secured credit card. What a secured credit card is you go to the company, open up this secured card, you give them a deposit as little as $49 with some credit card companies. And then whatever you purchase can't be any more than the deposit you made. So if you opened up a credit card that's secured with $300, you can't spend more than $300 when you first open up that account. And what it is, it's just a safety net so the credit card company can just take that deposit if you default on your credit card. How a lot of these secured cards work is let's say you put $300 on your secured card. You can't spend any more than that $300, and let's say you've been using it, you've been making your payments on time, you haven't been late at all. So let's say 5-6 months down the road, the company will give you an actual credit line. So let's say they up it to $700. So you have $300 still secured in that account, but you can spend up to $700. But the key here is still try not to spend more than 10 to 30% of your actual credit line. Credit card companies don't like to see people maxing out their credit lines, especially the people that the credit's reported to. So if you do this, you'll keep your credit healthy at an early age, which is really critical when you're trying to build credit. So the best thing to do when you first open up your credit card is to do not spend more than you have in your checking account. This is what I do to this day. And the reason being, I like to use credit cards because of the bonuses and the points you get on purchases and stuff like that. So the key is, especially when you first open up a credit card when you're young and trying to build your credit, is only spend what you have in your checking account. So use it for food, for bills, for necessary spending, and always pay it off with your checking account. And that way you'll always have good credit because you have always made payments on time. Here's a word of advice, even after you established good credit. Do not close any credit card account. And the reason why this is, let's say you opened up a credit card when you're 18. And let's say you're 28 and all you ever used was that initial credit card. If you close that account, that wipes out the age of your credit. So it'll look like you don't have any aged credit at all, which the age of your credit is actually pretty important when it comes to building your credit. So every account you close, it'll take away from that amount of time. So for instance, like I said, if you had that starter credit card and you use it for 5 years, if you closed out that account, it wipes out all that length of time you used to build credit. So it's very important to keep those credit card accounts open.
So the best thing to do is pay them off and just let them sit there.
So what are the best cards for starting your credit? Well, just right off the beginning of this is I'm not getting paid to refer cards at all. I'm not getting advertisement fees for this. I don't get anything like that. So I don't have any links in the description that's going to pay me. I'll put links to the cards just for your helping my viewers. Best card for general people to open up initially is going to be a secured credit card. I remember when I was younger, my first card was a Capital One something. I can't remember what it was, but that's what I did. And right now I have high 700 credit score. I've always paid my stuff on time. So let me go through a few others in today's age that you might be able to use. So as of for 2019, the best cards to open up secured in my opinion is the Capital One secured card, the Discovered It secured, and the Open Sky secured Visa. Those are the three I found to be the most popular and most people enjoyed the most. So those are my three recommendations. The card I recommend if you're a student is the Journey Student Rewards card by Capital One. This gives you a couple more incentives if you're a student on your purchases. So that's what I'd go with if I was a student. Another thing that was an honorable mention is if you want to start your credit, but you don't want to start with a secured card, if you have your parents or anybody that has good credit that will co-sign you to open up a better credit card that gives you more points, that's the route I would go. But if you don't have that option, obviously your secured credit card is probably your best option. And another thing I wanted to say too is if you want to start credit but don't want to deal with credit cards at all, you can get an auto loan and have a co-signer on that, which is another way you can start building your credit too. So I'm going to end this video with my personal feelings on credit cards. So if you're somebody that's reckless, I would not even begin dealing with credit cards. Even if it's starting out with secured and then they offer you a credit line. The reason why I say that is in the long run, you're going to build up your credit and your credit line. Then you're just going to spend more money than you have or should. So if you're reckless with money, I wouldn't even recommend the credit card route at all. I would lean more towards the getting a loan and having a co-signer route. All right, so that's my 2 cents on credit cards. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be putting out more content like this. And just remember, when it's all said and done, it isn't the money we're after. We're after the freedom and what we can do with it to provide for our families. All right, see you in the next video.